Hello, I'm Donna Rankin, the GSA SmartPay 3 Master Contracting Officer for the Office of Professional Services and Human Capital categories of the General Services Administration. My training today will cover the GSA SmartPay 3 Master Contract Basics course. More than 560 federal government agencies and organizations obtain charge card products and services through GSA SmartPay 3 Master Contract. Federal government agencies and organizations issue task orders against the GSA SmartPay 3 Master Contract for charge card products and services from one of two contractor banks, U.S. Bank and Citibank. Agencies and organizations pay no direct fees for using the GSA SmartPay program. There are 4 business lines under the GSA SmartPay 3 Master Contract, and they include purchase, used to procure, order, and pay for supplies and services; travel, used for official travel and travel-related expenses; fleet, used for fuel, maintenance, and repair of government-owned and operated vehicles; integrated, combines 2 or more business lines on a single account; safety and transparency. The GSA SmartPay program provides secure solutions for efficient payment transactions. Customers also have access to tools that promote increased transparency through access to spend and performance data. Electronic access to data. Through GSA SmartPay Contractor Bank online systems, account managers and cardholders have immediate access to complete transaction-level data, helping to mitigate fraud, waste, and abuse. The electronic access system provides account access, account management, and a variety of reports for agency and organization program coordinators to assist in the effective management of the program. Refunds. Agencies and organizations have the opportunity to earn refunds based on a single rate that considers both volume of spend and speed of pay. Minimums vary by contract line item and business line. In fiscal year 2020, agencies and organizations received over $403 million in refunds. Worldwide acceptance. Through the use of commercial market payment infrastructure, customers are able to use GSA SmartPay solutions anywhere in the world where merchants accept cards. Pool. Favorable pricing. Expanding the point of sale recognition through strategic sourcing and GSA schedule contracts. The SmartPay 3 Master Contract is an indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity contract with a 13-year transactional period of performance. The contract has a base period and 3 3-year option periods. The master contract was awarded in August of 2017. The transitional period of performance was from August 2017 through November 2018. The transitional period allowed time for agencies and organizations to evaluate contractor proposal submissions, select the SmartPay 3 bank, integrate systems, card delivery, and account activation. The transactional period is considered the go-live date to begin performance of the contract. The 4-year base period for the SmartPay 3 contract is from November 30, 2018 through November 29th of 2022. The period of performance for the first option period is November 30th, 2022 through November 29th, 2025. The period of performance for the second option period is November 30th, 2025 through November 29, 2028. The period of performance for the third option period is November 30th, 2028 through November 29th, 2031. Agencies and organizations should assess GSA SmartPay programs to determine if the program is meeting their needs. Agencies and organizations award task orders under the GSA SmartPay 3 Master Contract to obtain products and services. The four order types under the GSA SmartPay 3 Master Contract are standard, tailored, tag-along, and pool. The standard task order contains the same requirements as the master contract. Agencies solicit all contractor banks for desired Tier 1 core and Tier 2 value-added products and services as described in the contractor's presentation package. Requests to contractor banks include a statement of work and instructions for submission of a price proposal. Technical proposals are not utilized. Pricing is evaluated by the agency, and award of a standard task order initiates contractor performance. The tailored task order includes agency customer-specific requirements. Agencies and organizations solicit all contractor banks for desired Tier 1 core and Tier 2 value-added products and services tailored to meet agency-specific requirements. Requests to contractor banks include a comprehensive statement of work and instructions for submission of technical and price proposals. Proposals are evaluated by the agency following established evaluation criteria, and award of a tailored task order initiates contractor performance. The tag-along task order uses another agency's and organization's established contract vehicle so that it may take advantage of that task order's pre-negotiated terms, rates, and conditions. As a result, all administrative responsibilities of the task order are placed on one agency. The pool task order occurs when two or more agencies and organizations collaborate to issue one task order which will meet the multiple agency needs. Currently, the GSA SmartPay Program Office manages the pool task order for smaller agencies and organizations and tribes and tribal organizations. There are two types of product and service offerings under the GSA SmartPay 3 Master Contract. Tier 1 required or core requirements and Tier 2 value-added or optional requirements. The tiers and the products and services under each are found in the Master Contract, sections C.3.1.1, Tier 1 required product and service offerings, and C.3.1.2, Tier 2 value-added product and service offerings, respectively. Tier 1 and Tier 2 differ in that Tier 1 contains both not separately priced and separately priced items and are the same for both contractors, while Tier 2 contains only separately priced contract line items and may vary by contractor. All business lines include standard transactions, large ticket transactions, and e-payable supplier-initiated payments as separate refunds listed under Tier 1 contract line items. For these contract line items and all associated subcontract line items, contractors are required to propose a refund amount no less than the minimum stated that takes into account all costs associated with meeting the contract requirements. Tier 1 product and service offerings are the core requirements for the program and are the payment solutions used to initiate the majority of the transactions under the GSA SmartPay program. The Tier 1 product and service offerings listed in the master contract are not separately priced, offered at no additional cost, and included in the minimum refund amounts for standard large ticket and e-payables, supplier-initiated payments, contract line items, by business line, unless otherwise indicated. A few of the Tier 1 product and service offerings, core requirements included in the GSA SmartPay 3 Master Contract are identified on the next two slides. They are mandatory offerings in which both contractor banks had to propose on to receive a contract. The first one is accounts payable file review. The contractor provides an accounts payable file review after task order award unless otherwise specified by an agency. The contractor completes the accounts payable file review with the information to be provided by the agency. ATM access provides ATM access for travel transactions for a maximum fixed fee and number of basis points. Chip card, a card product with a microprocessor chip embedded into the card to provide increased payment security. The chip creates a unique one-time code known as a cryptogram with each transaction. The cardholder verification method should be personal identification number preferred. Chip cards should be offered to agencies and organizations with options to have both signature and personal identification number functionality. Convenience checks. Contractor provided instrument that is written, dated, and signed against a card or account within established dollar limits. Convenience checks are intended only for the use with merchants who do not accept the GSA SmartPay purchased account. Declining balance cards. Declining balance cards function similar to a traditional charge card. However, limits do not have to refresh each month. These cards can be applied for a specific purpose or for a specified time period and with a predetermined credit limit. Credit limits can either be set as needed, set for a specified time, or can become inactive once the balance is depleted. Email short message service alert service provides for automatic email or SMS alerts at agency and organizations' request for purchase, travel, fleet, and integrated transactions. The alerts are to be sent to card and payment program managers, for example, agency and organization, program coordinators, and approving officials, and to account holders. The notification shall at a minimum include account holder name and amount unless otherwise indicated at the agency and organization task order level. E-payable supplier initiated payments provides processes for electronically connecting suppliers or other merchants to the government supply chain and or back-end payment systems. The solution provides a means to accept agency and organization payment files used for disbursement against designated accounts for these transactions. The solutions do not include virtual cards, single-use accounts, ghost cards, or other products and services defined elsewhere in the master contract. Foreign currency cards. Cards and/or other equivalent payment solutions in foreign currencies. All administrative functions, including billing and settlement, shall occur in the foreign currency desired by the agency and organization at the task order level. Ghost cards. A charge card number that is specific to an agency and organization or an entity within an agency and organization. Ghost cards are for agencies and organizations that frequently do business with one vendor and have recurring payments. GSA SmartPay Tax Advantage Travel Card Account provides a means for agencies to obtain tax exemption at the point of sale for rental cars and lodging. Agencies and organizations not eligible to receive individually billed accounts shall not be issued tax advantage travel card accounts. Interchange-based government-to-government transactions is an option that allows payments between different agencies, intergovernmental, or within the same agency, intragovernmental. Such transactions are characterized as low risk, with low retrieval and low chargeback rates. Constraints such as interchange costs and policy may limit these types of transactions through a GSA SmartPay solution. Each agency should become familiar with the Department of Treasury policy when considering the use of a government-to-government offering. Mobile applications provides the ability to access electronic access systems, pay invoices, receive text and email alerts, and view statement and payment information over a mobile device. Mobile payments allow agencies to make secure payments utilizing a mobile device at the point of sale. Net billing, the process of ensuring that merchant discounts or refunds offered are deducted at the point of sale and guarantee such discount arrangements. Non-interchange based government-to-government transactions, transactions that occur through non-traditional payment channels that do not generate interchange. Non-interchange based government-to-government transactions are separately priced at a fixed fee. Single-use accounts allow an agency to utilize a single virtual account number for each payment. The limit on each account is set to the specific payment amount. Tokenization, the use of a secure, unique token in place of a 16-digit account number to provide extra security for transactions. Virtual cards, virtual accounts that may be used limited time for a limited amount and possibly for a specific vendor. Examples include single-use accounts and ghost cards. Contractors were not required to offer or provide Tier 2 value-added products and services to receive a master contract award. Since Tier 2 products and services are value-added or optional, they may or may not be included in each bank's GSA SmartPay 3 master contract. Banks had the option to offer bank or brand-specific proprietary payment solutions and other services under the Tier 2 categories contained in the master contract. Tier 2 technologies must be offered at the master contract level in order to make them available at the agency and organization task order level. The master contract contains ceiling prices for the proposed value-added products and services. This slide includes a few of the Tier 2 value-added products and services included in the GSA SmartPay 3 master contract. Additional authorization controls provides additional authorization controls that would add value to the GSA SmartPay program over and above those specified in Section C.8.14 authorization controls. Agencies and organizations would determine the need for additional controls at the task order level. Additional data mining tools includes data mining tools over and above those specified as core requirements in Section C.7.4.1 data mining. Additional data mining tools could be capable of accepting rules-based parameters to indicate specific rules for the data analysis at the task order level. After-hours roadside assistance provides customer support and service during after-hours and holidays. The customer call center shall be available to handle after-hour calls on Monday through Friday from 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. local time and all day on weekends and federal holidays. In addition, it provides after-hours roadside assistance support as required to ensure coordination of the drivers called to the appropriate roadside assistance program. Combined charge card and identification card technology provides the ability and functionality to combine payment solutions and personnel identity cards into a single card. The solution may provide products or services that allow the merging of these functionalities to one card, such as programming government-issue identification cards with payment solution functionality. Commercially offered convenience services. The solution may provide commercial convenience services such as extended warranty programs, guaranteed return programs, and merchant discount programs. Emerging technology. As advances become available to the commercial market, the contractor may provide emerging technologies that facilitate or enhance the payment solutions program in the master contract and for use of agencies and organizations at the task order level. E-buyer initiated payment, a type of transaction that requires no action by the supplier, no point of sale terminals, or other hardware and software required to receive payment. The buyer-initiated payment solutions do not include virtual cards, single-use accounts, ghost cards, or other products and services defined elsewhere in the master contract. E-payable straight-through processing, an automated payment transaction processing service where the purchasing organization sends the payment file directly to the contractor's acquiring institution with the networks, in turn processing payments automatically on behalf of the contractor. Solutions could be capable of depositing funds directly into the contractor's bank account. The straight-through processing solutions do not include virtual cards, single-use accounts, ghost cards, or other products and services defined elsewhere in the master contract. International Fleet Solution, products and solutions designed for use outside of the continental United States, Alaska, and Hawaii. Solutions can either utilize a closed-loop network that provides level 3 data or an open-loop network that does not guarantee level 3 data. Telematics provides a fleet vehicle tracking technology solution to assist fleet managers in identifying misuse and abuse faster, track drivers and vehicles with factors such as speed, as well as global positioning, satellite location, and reduce fuel consumption, and find the lowest gas prices based on GPS location. There are two types of accounts: centrally billed accounts, CBAs, and individually billed accounts, IBAs. A centrally billed account is an account established by the contractor at the request of the agency to pay for official government purchases for which the customer agency is directly billed and liable for making the payment. All purchase and fleet accounts are centrally billed. Travel accounts used for airfare and other travel-related transactions may also be centrally billed. Agencies and organizations will specify at the task order level which travel and integrated cards will be centrally billed accounts. An individually billed account is a contractor-issued account used by authorized individuals to pay for official travel and travel-related expenses for which the contractor bills the account holder and for which the individual is liable to pay. The cardholder is liable for payment. The government reimburses employees only for authorized and allowable expenses, and employees are responsible for amounts charged in excess of the allowable reimbursement. Refunds. What is a refund? A refund is a monetary payment made by the contractor bank to the agency and organization based on the dollar amount or spend volume during a specified time period. In the GSA SmartPay 3 master contract, refunds are expressed in terms of basis points or cents per transaction, depending on the contract line item. A basis point is 1/100th of 1%, expressed as 0.01% or 0.0001. Refunds under GSA SmartPay 3 are expressed as a single rate that takes into consideration both spend volume and speed of pay. A refund may also include additional payments from the contractor to the agency organization to correct improper or erroneous refund payments or to make an invoice adjustment. The GSA SmartPay 3 contract includes refund-based pricing and fee-based pricing. Refund-based pricing in the GSA SmartPay 3 master contract is for products and services that generate interchange. Interchange is a fee paid by the merchant's financial institutions to the card issuing bank processing its customer's merchant transaction, typically expressed in a percentage of the total transaction amount passed on to the merchant through the merchant's financial institution's fees. If interchange is generated, the refund is part of the fee given back to the agency organization. Expressed in terms of basis points or cents per transaction, the minimum refund that must be paid to agencies for use of the product and service. GSA SmartPay 3 contractors must provide the minimum refund rate or higher when the product and service is ordered by the agency at the task order level. GSA SmartPay 3 contractors may not propose less than the refund rate for any contract line item as found in their master contract. Contractors may take into consideration historical data provided by the agency in the task order request for proposal to offer higher refund rates under the GSA SmartPay 3 contract. Fee-based pricing in the GSA SmartPay 3 contract for products and services that do not generate interchange. Therefore, no refunds are applied against the spend on these contract line items. An example is convenience checks. Expressed in terms of minimum refunds, maximum hourly rates, or maximum fixed fees, or net basis points for the specific product or service offered. GSA SmartPay 3 contractors may provide discounts on these items at the task order level based on historical information of the specific agency. Discounts are not required, but may be offered. GSA SmartPay 3 contractors may not propose more than the fee for any contract line item as found in their master contract. Calculation of refunds. Refunds are calculated and aggregated for quarterly remittance in accordance with the GSA SmartPay 3 Master Contract, Section B.3.3, Calculation of Refunds. Steps to calculate refunds. You determine the net charge volume. The net charge volume is the sum of all purchases, including convenience checks, ATM, cash advances, and other fee-generating products and services, less merchant credits. You identify the convenience check spend from net charge volume. The next step is to determine the gross credit losses. Gross credit losses are the balances on individually billed accounts that reach the prescribed number of calendar days past the closing date on the statement of account in which the charges appeared for the reporting period, without adjustments as stated at the task order level. Next, you subtract the convenience check spend and gross credit losses from net charge volume to determine refund eligible net charge volume. The refund eligible net charge volume is the sum of purchases with eligible transaction codes included to calculate refunds. ATM, cash advances, and other fee-generating products and services, less merchant credits. For a list of transactions that are included in net charge volume for the purpose of this contract, see Section J.1, Attachment 1, Transaction Codes and Descriptions. Finally, calculate gross refund and GSA contract access fee to determine the net refund amount. The gross refund amount is comprised of the GSA contract access fee and the refund amount paid to the agency. It's actually the refund amount before the deduction of the GSA contract access fee. The net refund amount is the payment from the contractor to the agency based on the dollar or spend volume during each reporting period. If a participating agency develops additional requirements for products and services not offered under their current task order during the period of performance of the master contract, the agency will first consider their current GSA SmartPay 3 contractor for the requirement. If the agency's current contractor cannot fulfill the requirement, the agency will give consideration to the other GSA SmartPay 3 contractor before completing the requirement outside of the master contract. If the agency and organization makes a written determination as required by agency and organization procurement policies, that additional requirements cannot be met by any GSA SmartPay 3 contractor, or that the requirements are out of scope of the master contract, the agency may procure the requirements outside of the master contract. A question to test your knowledge of the GSA SmartPay 3 master contract. True or false? My agency has very unique needs. Therefore, the terms and conditions of the GSA SmartPay 3 master contract can be amended or deleted by a task order. Take a few seconds to think about the question and your response. The answer is false. In accordance with contract law, the GSA SmartPay 3 master contract cannot be amended or deleted by a task order. However, customers may include requirements in task orders if requirements are within the scope of products and services offered. Task orders may not increase the scope, period, or maximum value of the master contract under which the task order is issued. Unique to the travel card program, a standard or tailored task order may not split any agency requirements between individually and centrally billed accounts. If an agency places a task order, they may not issue one task order for individually billed accounts with one contractor and another task order for centrally billed accounts with a different contractor. Ordering agencies and organizations shall not alter GSA's contract access fee as part of the task order award process. Another question to test your knowledge of the GSA SmartPay 3 master contract. This is a yes or no question. GSA SmartPay 3 contractor banks are encouraged to propose improvements to the services, features, or other requirements of the master contract. Take a few seconds to think about the question and your response. The answer is yes. Section H.16 of the master contract encourages banks to propose improvements to the master contract. After contract award, the government may solicit, and the contractor is encouraged to propose independently improvements to the services, features, or other requirements of the master contract. In accordance with the GSA SmartPay 3 master contract, section H.16, service improvements. Improvements may be proposed to save money, to improve technology or performance, or for any other purposes which present a service advantage to the government. Proposed service improvements that are acceptable to the government will be processed as modifications to the master contract. This occurred immediately after contract award. Both banks proposed a service enhancement to be considered under their respective contracts. Pilot programs are covered under Section C.3.1.3 of the master contract. Customized services proposed or requested as pilot programs shall include substantial modification or changes to core products and services within the scope of the master contract, or, when applicable, the scope of the agency's task order. Pilot programs are requested in accordance with Section H.16, service improvements of the master contract. Services may run for a period of time shorter than the master contract or task order period of performance, may have additional requirements for evaluation, feedback, and reporting to substantiate program viability, and they are priced separately as negotiated between the GSA contracting officer and contractor. Customized services at the master contract level may include, but not be limited to, pilot programs initiated by GSA with government-wide applicability, customized training materials for payment solution programs, pilot or demonstration of new processes, or contractor-suggested or government-suggested service improvements. Customized services for agencies and organizations may include, but not be limited to, customized agency and organization-specific training materials, production and submittal of agencies' 1099 information to the Internal Revenue Service, pilot or demonstration of new processes, contractor-suggested or government-suggested service improvements, priced separately as negotiated between the agency and the contractor, and agency and organizations may not modify or change the terms and conditions of the master contract. You see in the slide a graphic illustration of the programmatic relationship between the GSA SmartPay stakeholders. We start in the middle of the chart with the Center for Charge Card Management. They provide overall program management and advocacy. Agencies and organizations use the card products and services to support their missions. Banks. The banks provide charge card products and services through GSA SmartPay 3 master contracts, and they issue the charge cards. Network brands. The brands provide the transaction network for GSA SmartPay 3 charge cards. And finally, the Office of Management and Budget has oversight of the government-wide charge card program. Contractor banks partner with brands to provide solutions under the master contract. A few of these services include commercial billing and payment systems, single refund rate, which considers both volume of spend and speed of pay, internal controls for mitigating fraud and abuse, electronic systems for statements, payment history, and account information, for example, the contractor's electronic access system. Training and training support, which may include participating in the GSA SmartPay annual training forum and providing agency and organization training. The training may be specific to the business line provided by the contractor bank. Reports and data analysis support, and assistance with audits and investigations. For audits, the contractor shall assist any authorized unit of the government or tribal organization by providing reasonable access to all GSA SmartPay administrative, financial, and management data. For investigative assistance, the contractor shall assist any authorized unit concerning alleged wrongdoing or suspected fraud, waste, misuse, or abuse by agency employees or those entities doing business with the government or tribal organizations. Another question to test your knowledge of the SmartPay 3 master contract. This is a true or false question. GSA SmartPay cardholders have responsibilities for managing GSA SmartPay solutions appropriately. Take a few seconds to think about the question and your response. The answer is true. In accordance with the master contract, cardholders are required to comply with rules and responsibilities outlined in the GSA SmartPay cardholder training and agency-specific training. To support GSA SmartPay programs and agency and organizations, contracting officers are encouraged to understand the establishment of task orders in accordance with the Federal Acquisition Regulation as set forth in FAR 16.505. Develop and award agency and organization task orders. Serve as the ordering official for agencies and organizations, and maintain lines of communication with agency and organization program coordinators. In accordance with Section C.7.2.4, Record Retention and Retrieval of the Master Contract, banks are required to maintain electronic records of all transactions for a period of 6 years after final contract payment. Final contract payment is defined as the final payment for the particular charge under each agency's task order. Online access should be provided to GSA and the agency and organization for 6 years after the concurrence of each transaction. Review and approval and reconciliation data are considered to be parts of the transaction and shall be subject to the same 6-year record retention requirement. There are 4 types of transitions under the GSA SmartPay 3 Master Contract. Startup, implementation, transition. The Master Contract startup and implementation transition requirements are the processes required of the contractor upon Master Contract award. This transition includes, but is not limited to, the GSA SmartPay Master Contract Kickoff Forum, presentation packages, and preparation to begin transaction processing, transition from previous contract, implementation of services, technology transitions, and post-contract transition. Technological advanced transition, doing a transition from one technology solution to another with the same contractor. The contractor shall ensure that the transition disruption should be minimized. Updates or new technologies may subject agencies and organizations, program systems to reviews, audits, or certification and an accreditation as specified in the security requirements section of the master contract. The contractor should notify the designated agency and organization point of contact of changes or updates to the program, technology, including, but not limited to, changes in functionality, usability, format, appearance, or security. Agency and organization transition. The agency and organization startup and implementation transition requirements are the processes required of the contractor upon task order award and include, but are not limited to, task order process, standard or tailored, task order competition and award, preparation to begin transaction processing, transition from previous contract, and implementation of services. Post-contract transition. At the end of the master contract's period of performance, the contractor shall monitor and manage a cooperative, orderly, and seamless transition to a successor. The contractor should provide phase-out services for up to 18 months prior to the expiration date of the contract. The contractor should provide sufficient experienced personnel during the phase-in and phase-out period to ensure that there is no decrease in the quality of services provided under the master contract and task orders. The general contract information is provided for the GSA SmartPay 3 Program Support Center, manned by team members from the SmartPay Program Office, as well as the customer service contact information for Citibank and US Bank. This information may also be found on the GSA SmartPay website. The additional GSA SmartPay courses available during the virtual forum include Advanced Purchase Card Management, the GSA SmartPay 3 Master Contract Basics course, which is this course, GSA SmartPay Fleet Management Essentials, GSA SmartPay Online Tools, GSA SmartPay Program Update, GSA SmartPay Purchase Management Essentials, GSA SmartPay Travel Management Essentials, GSA Smart Tax, Leading Practices and Lessons Learned for State Taxes, Strategic Payment Solutions, and Use of Data Analytics for Effective Program Oversight. Although my contact information is on the slide, I would also like to make you aware of the remaining SmartPay acquisition team members. The team members are Katrina Garrett and Rosalind Cherry. That concludes the briefing portion of this session. Thank you for your time and attention. We're going to now have a live question and answer session on the content of today's class. Thank you for attending this session, and please stay on the line for the live Q&A.